Welcome everybody. Today I want to talk about leveling up your teaching. I am so excited to talk about this. It's something that I have not yet discussed on this channel, and a lot of the old videos, like the old VIP kid videos, they did, but this is the first time I've talked about this on here. So one of the most common questions that I get when I get asked about people, or when people ask me about my job, especially people who are just finding out that it's actually a thing, maybe they want to do this for a job, or they're just asking me what I do, is they're like, how do you teach people in China if you don't speak Chinese? So let me know in the comments here if you've gotten that before, because I get that a lot. Translation tools can be super, super helpful in class. But you don't have to rely on them. That's not the only way that you can be teaching kids, adults, whatever in China. Even if they don't speak a word of English, you can teach them without speaking their language. And if you guys already know this, then, I promise there's going to be things in here that I probably haven't talked about before. And you might not know. So today we're going to learn one of the very first things you should teach every student, regardless of their level. This is my personal opinion, but I honestly believe that every single student, you should teach this as one of the first things to every single student, whether they are 2 years old or 60 years old. Okay. And I have taught 2-year-olds before that speak zero English. We're going to learn what TPR is, and we're going to learn how to communicate and teach with any student, even non-English speaking preschoolers, which is, I teach a lot of non-English speaking preschoolers. Hi, Katie. If you're joining us, pop it in the comments and say hi, because I like to see who's here too. Okay, so I want to give a really quick intro about myself in case this is the first time that you've ever been here. I'm an online teacher. I've been an online teacher since 2018, both companies and private. And I have an education in teaching, and I am and have been a coach and mentor for teachers to help them grow their bookings and improve their teaching skills. So if you are an online teacher, make sure you click subscribe and hit that bell notification. So TPR it stands for total physical response. When you apply to a company, you're going to hear a lot about TPR. This is using physical motion to reinforce language learning. There are two different kinds of TPR. There's instructional, how to do something, and educational, which is teaching a new word or a concept. So the first thing that I teach every single student is I don't know. When you're teaching somebody something and you ask them a question, a language learner is going to have to take a second and process it. So it's going to take a little bit longer. If I ask my 6-year-old daughter, circle the word and, she's just looking for the word and. If I ask my 6-year-old ESL student, circle the word and, they're translating in their head, circle the word and now they're looking for and. So it takes them a little bit longer. The first thing that I teach every single student is how to say, I don't know, if they don't know the answer to something, because this way they're still giving an answer. This is really powerful. It's empowering to your students to be able to give them a way to answer instead of just being lost and confused. If they're lost and confused, they're going to shut down. You're not going to have that classroom experience that you want. So you want to give them a way, and teaching them how to say, I don't know, is how, you don't know. As how they tell you, how that way that you give them. Sorry. My tongue's not working today. So for example, say you ask your student to circle the word and they start looking a little bit confused. Okay. You look at them and say, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And now you've taught them how to express when they don't know something, so that in the future, it's easier for you to determine whether they don't know something or they're just taking that time to process it. especially when they're learning a new term. It's not review. It's a new concept, or they're new online students or new language students. It's going to take them a little bit longer to process things. So this right here is super, super important. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think I've ever heard other teachers talking about this. I think teachers who have been teaching for a while have learned how to do this and learn the importance of it, but we don't talk about this and how important it is. She says sitting TPR is different. Yeah, we're going to talk about some different TPRs. These are all related to online classroom too. So I'm not going to be showing you the TPR. Like if you've taught in classrooms and you're doing syllables where you're like jumping jacks or running around or something, this is all stuff that you're going to do parked in your seat in front of the computer. Great tips for newbies. Thank you, Katie. Okay, so the first thing that I want to teach you, or I guess the second thing that I want to teach you, is Chinese finger counting. And this is something that you don't have to teach them. They already know it. All of your students already know. If they know how to count in Chinese, they already know how to do Chinese finger counting. You're going to be able to count to 10 by just using one hand. And it's really easy because you can use this for a variety of different ways. But I want to show you the way that we do Chinese finger counting. There are a couple of different ways, especially for the number 10. This is the way that I do it. I don't know, Katie, if you do it a little bit differently. If anyone does it differently, let me know in the comments. But this is how I do it. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We all got that, right? After 5, it changes. So 6. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Another way for 10 is this. And I think I saw another way too. But I do 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I use the counting for a couple of different ways. Obviously, if we're counting something, if we're teaching numbers, 1, right? I also use it if I'm trying to get them to say a whole sentence. If I want them to say a full sentence. So maybe I say, what is it? And they say a dog. No, I want a full sentence. I'll say full sentence. It is a dog. And now you're encouraging without doing extra words. Like you're letting them do the talking by just saying, good job. Okay. So that's the finger counting. I use it. I think I use it every single class for my younger students. Every single class. And it's gotten to the point where I use it in my personal life and I'll be like, yeah. And they'll be like, what? Oh. Brenda says she uses 2 hands. 2 hands is fine. But this is the way that they do it. And I mean, they're gonna know. Okay, so if you say like 7, that 8, sorry. Okay, if you say 8, they're going to have to sit there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're gonna have to sit there and count it in their heads. But if you say 8, they know that's 8. So it's kind of just a quicker response. Katie says, to add a kind of alternative perspective, it's good to teach students that we don't have the same gestures between languages to let students learn our gestures too. Yes, that's true. Because when they talk to English speakers in the future, they need to be fluent in our gestures too. That's a really good point of view there. So yes, in some countries, they don't do thumbs up for good, pointing backwards for past tense, etc. Yeah, that's a good point. But that's just something that I do. I'll use the fingers, like if I'm trying to tell them, like, the boy went to the park at noon. The boy went to the right. So they know what I'm going after, and a lot of times it prevents them from skipping like articles in the sentence. Smaller words. You could do it for syllables too. Hi, Lena. So Chinese finger counting: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I use that for a couple of different reasons, but that's that. Okay, so you can also use TPR for engagement in class. And some of this stuff, sorry, I'm going to turn my notifications off. Some of this stuff you probably already know. So if you already know it, you go ahead and comment while I'm doing it, before I do it, how you do it. So this one, repeat after me. The way that I do this is I will put my finger to my mouth. So I will say like, the dog is blue. And then I'm cupping my hands to my ear. I think that's the next one. Cupping my hands to the ear, waiting for the response. The dog is blue. I guess I'm doing Blue's Clues in this class. The dog is blue. The dog is blue. So you can kind of add those all in there too. I'm waiting for you to talk. That's the cupping the ear. Like I'm waiting. I want to hear you, right? So I say, the dog is blue. Sometimes I might even go like this. Come on, like encouraging them. Come on, come on. Okay. Keep going. Keep talking. Just like this. Come on. Yes, you got it. Okay. Good job. Obviously, right? We're doing thumbs up. We're clapping our hands. Yes. It's going to depend on the student that you're teaching and your teaching style and, a lot of on like their age and whatnot too. Some more TPR, draw a circle. So if you're using interactive software or you're using a classroom or a tool that allows them to draw, if you're using something like maybe you're teaching in like VIP Kid or Lingo Ace where they have that tool where the kids can draw, you're just going to say, draw a circle, draw a circle, draw. It might take a couple of different ways to get them to learn how to draw the circle. Sometimes they might be confused depending on their English level. You can also put your pen on, right? Put your pen on with your finger, and then your other finger, you're going to draw the circle. So like on your mouse, you're drawing while you're drawing with your finger. So they can kind of see that's what you're doing. Like, your turn. Go ahead, your turn. Okay. Right on the screen, same thing is draw a circle. However you're going to do it, you might have to try a couple of different ways for a student if they're new to it. Once you teach them this, you're not going to have to reteach them every time. Draw a circle will be fine. The first time you teach them, you may, if they're a new online student, you may have to show them a couple of different ways. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, sit down. I like to get my younger students up out of the chair, especially if they're like 3-4-year-olds and they're starting to get inattentive. They're starting to maybe go a little crazy in class. They're picking things up and shoving them up their nose and putting them in their mouth and their ears. Maybe they're like, just getting wild and crazy and, okay, we're going to do an exercise where we move, right? So I might tell them to stand up, and then I'll use the standing TPR where I might tell them like, let's do jumping jacks, let's run, depending on what we're doing. You can incorporate movement into your lessons, even in an online class. I will even get out of my chair and stand behind my chair and do it with them. So it depends on what you want to do, but these are all just different options. Don't think you have to incorporate all of these. Full sentence. So for a full sentence, I already showed you the finger counting to tell how many words are in the sentence that you want them to say. But a lot of times they know, they're just being lazy, right? They're like, we do it when we talk too. Like, what is that? Oh, a dog. Okay. But you want them to say, it's a brown dog. What is it? A dog. Full sentence. Full sentence. Okay. So full sentence. This is what I do. Katie said, this is what we call instructional TPR. Yes. Yeah, we talked about that in like the second slide, I think, which is good for you to use when you give instructions to them to help them understand what you want them to do. Yeah, if a student can't understand what you want them to do, then you're not going to get very far with them in class because they're not going to know what to do. But they'll also already know how to say, I don't know. So now that you've already taught them that, you'll know too. In contrast to educational TPR, which is action words for new words. Yep, I'm talking about that too in a second here. You're skipping ahead of me. Come back. So come back can be like this. If you're teaching little kids, I actually learned how to say come back in Chinese a really long time ago too. But if you're teaching little kids, you might need to learn how to say come back. They get distracted, they run around. You need to be able to figure out how to either keep them in their chair or keep them to where, they're like standing or moving in front of you. So come back, you can tell them like, come back like this, right? Sometimes I get a little like funny with it and I'll, pull them back. Oh, where is Katie? Oh, Katie, yay. Okay. You can get creative with it. You can get fun with it. Where is, this is simple too, right? So where is the ball? Where is the ball? As they grow their vocabulary words and they grow their understanding, you're not going to do this. You're not going to be saying, where is the ball, to a 10-year-old who's on their third review lesson where they learn ball, right? It's just not happening. So again, all of these are going to be adjusted to your best judgment for each individual student. Yes, like yes, no, right? No, depending. I don't ever say no. I don't give a thumbs down when they give an incorrect answer. You might say no. Good job. Really simple. In China, that's not how they gesture to come back. Really? They don't say come back like this? I wish I had you on here live so you could show. I didn't know that. That's what I've been using for years and they understand. But for the little kids, I also know how to, I guess, yell at them like a mom would. I know how to say it in Chinese. So new vocabulary. So these are just some examples. Hold your palm downwards instead. Like this? Like come back? Come back? Like this? You're gonna have to. Are we talking about like 1, 2? I feel like I'm doing aerobics over here. Katie, I'm not. I promise. Katie said something here. My Chinese teacher said it's rude or something, but yeah, they know foreigners gesture differently. Okay. Yeah, I guess that goes back to what you said before, teaching them how we do it too. And once you teach something, it's almost like a new language. Like it's not sign language, but it's almost like learning sign language. Palm down. This is my palm down. Like this. Come back. This is how I would do like eat. That's eat. So you might do like rabbit, cat, tired, happy, running, big, small, right? Really, really, really obvious ones. You can get as creative as you want to. Okay, like Brenda said a chicken. For a chicken, you might actually, for a chicken, I make the noises too. So if it's chicken, I make a. If it's a duck, I like to do my Donald Duck one. I have a Donald Duck voice that I'll do because most of them know Donald Duck. Sure someone has a YouTube tutorial on it. I'll have to look. I have no idea. I didn't know that. But yeah, so just different vocabulary words. If you're teaching a new vocabulary word, you have to think about how you're going to do it. Maybe you have an older student and you're teaching the word spiky. I'd be like spiky, right? Spiky. Or, tall, short. If I'm saying like, do you have a brother? How old is he? Is he a big brother or a little brother? So just different things like that. Drive, go. I could get into a whole other, rant on other things that I do to keep class interesting and engaging that don't have to do with TPR. But this right now is just involving like the nonverbal communication that you use. So on that note, I would like to know if there's anything else that you do in your classes that is nonverbal. I do also want to add something. When you are teaching your class, I want you to remember to, what? I'm sorry, you distracted me. In Bulgaria, shaking your head up and down means no, and left to right means yes. That has to be so confusing when you move to Bulgaria. Oh my goodness. That's weird. Okay. I do want to note though that when you are teaching students in a different language, to remember that you have to match their tempo. So if they are speaking slower, if they're answering, it is a dog, that means that they're processing things a little bit slower, which means that when you speak, if you say it is a dog, by the time you get to dog, their brain is still going, it is a dog. Whereas if you have a student that is answering relatively quickly, even if they don't have a high fluency level, they may be processing a little bit faster. You can say something like, it is a dog. And if you go, it is, imagine if I was teaching you this right now and said, you use TPR. That's going to be really annoying to your student, and they're going to tune you out because you're going too slow. So take note of the pace that they are answering your questions and match their pace. Okay. I'm going to check the comments here and see what other people say that they use for nonverbal things. Brenda says that she used GIFs, and flashcards. Okay. Those are always really good too. Yeah, props are always helpful too. When I started teaching, I was really big on props. After I taught a lesson, I would have to clean up my classroom because I would have finger puppets and flashcards like all over the place from every different lesson that I was teaching. I don't really use props anymore. I don't use props like I do anymore. I can't remember the last time I used a prop really. I use my hands too. So if I've got a student that doesn't want to talk, I might say like, "Hi, my name is Teacher Jill. What's your name?" And then maybe they're not talking and be like, and you could do this with a puppet, right? But, "Hi, I'm Teacher Jill. What's your name?" "Hi, I'm Hand." Whatever, right? You could do it with a puppet. "I'm Bobby. What's your name?" A lot of times, again, this really depends. You're not going to do this to a 16-year-old student that's just over it, right? But it really depends on what you're doing. Bubbles and balloons. What are you talking about, bubbles and balloons? Like you bring bubbles into your classroom? You bring balloons into your classroom? Okay, Brenda's a little extra. I would be so afraid that I'd get bubbles on my laptop or on my charger, or that I'd, in the 5 minutes between classes, I'd be like running to go to the bathroom and slip on a floor full with bubbles. Like, that doesn't sound very safe to me. Balloons. like you blow them up in class. You could do things like, say you're teaching weather. You might say like, is it sunny? Is it sunny, right? Is it cloudy? This is what I use for cloudy. Which is also, I've got sunshine on a cloudy day. Okay, that's actually sign language too. That's American Sign Language. Cloudy day, because that's cloudy day. I'm trying to remember my sign language class. That's actually sign language too. So I use cloudy, cold, hot, what was the, like, rainy, right? Like really obvious things. I do all the time. You use bubbles, awards, put a microphone for them. Yeah, that's another one. I've used that too. So you can put a microphone up for them, and it doesn't have to actually be a microphone. Of course, I got a microphone here. I've got a microphone. Testing. Hello. What is your name? Whoop. Yeah, you could put a real microphone or just like a pencil up for them. Clapping for syllables. So say, oh, what's a word that they mess up a lot for syllables? Okay, say it's crayon. Okay, that's a word that I mess up. I don't say crayon, I say crayon, because I'm from New York and that's how we do it here. But say they keep saying crayon and you want to teach them crayon. You would say crayon or crayon, and you can teach them like that. That's another thing that you can do. Brenda builds balloon animals. You must be a really fun teacher. That's cool. Awards. Yes, awards. It's a really good idea. Let me know if you guys want a video on how to do a reward system. If you're using Fun Class, you've already got one built in, so you don't need one. But if you need a video on how to do a reward system, or, and the benefits of them, I can do one on that too. Yeah, but if you have anything else, any other ideas that you know about, that you've used, or maybe you're stuck on something and you want help. So you're like, okay, I don't know how to explain this concept, and I want to use TPR. What can I do? Drop it in the comments, and me or somebody else that sees it, we can answer you. Katie says she's lazy with rewards. You also teach older students though. So older students don't really care as much for rewards as younger students do. A lot of times, depending on the student, obviously, but the older you get, the more rewarded you are by just like the actual outcome. However, I can tell you from being on Duolingo, because that's been the thing that I've been doing, is playing on Duolingo, that I'm really motivated by rewards myself. I've learned that. Most of my students, Katie says, most of her students are too cool for rewards kind of preteens. Yeah. I feel like the competitive rewards might be better for those kinds of students, where it's not like good job, it's a I'm better than you kind of thing, right? There's also interesting research on the motivational impact of rewards. I don't know what that research is. I'm gonna have to look into it though. But yeah, and if you have any other questions, drop them in the comment section. We do have a Facebook group. I think I put it in the comment section or the description box of this video. But if you want to join our Facebook group, feel free to join our Facebook group. It's a community of like-minded online teachers. And yeah, if you need help with anything, just drop it in the comment section, or see us over in the Facebook group. And I will see you guys all later. Thanks for tuning in. And if you're watching the replay, then YouTube says that you might like this video over here. So I'll see you there next.